High School DXD Hero was actually good. Now I know I'm probably the last person you'd expect to be giving High School DXD Hero props after my video that I posted 2 months ago. In that video, I basically stated how everything was stupid and how they were doing the show, and the way the show was heading was just gonna go straight downhill, and they needed to explain everything, or else I was gonna drop the show. Well, I was completely wrong. I just finished High School DXD Hero yesterday. It actually piqued my expectations. I went into the show with low expectations, but they set the bar high for this season. Even though they changed up a lot of stuff, they still did it in a pretty good way. Right off rip, the first thing that I didn't like about the anime was the animation, how they changed it. Slowly as the anime went on, I started to not really care what the animation looked like, as long as I got a really good story out of it. Some frames here and there triggered me to a certain extent, but not enough to make me, you know, pissed off. Now the two things that I noticed about this particular season that I didn't find out about any other season is the fighting style and the slang. Now, the fighting is fire! Previous seasons, the fighting was awesome, yeah, it was fire, but these niggas are boxing. Trading, like, oh my gosh, this probably has the most fighting in the entire thing. Issei is overpowered as fuck. Like, he was already overpowered in the last previous seasons, but he was more reckless than he is now. My dude is flipping over niggas and shit. That was one. And then the slang was actually kind of crazy. They did that way more than I thought they would. I knew High School DxD was more, they had more slang to put in it to make it more comedic. Maybe more in the dubbed than in the subbed. But in the dub, my dude was talking about the Tide Pod challenge. He just had so many different, terms in there that are used in modern day that was just like so crazy, and every freaking second there'd be a joke. And not to say they weren't funny, but it got a little bit repetitive throughout the entire show because everything was a joke. You couldn't really take anything serious except for at the end of the show when, you know, shit starts to pop off. In terms of story, they did change up a lot that, you know, kind of triggered me in the beginning, but as I started to watch the show, I'd say I don't prefer it over first season 3 they made. I don't dislike it at all. Like it was, I actually enjoyed it. I was satisfied at the end. I saw a lot of people posting on YouTube, Issei proposes to Reyes. If you haven't seen the show, he doesn't do that shit. The only thing that I really didn't like is the cranked up the pervert like meter to the freaking max. Like, the only way he can power up is by being a pervert, which was freaking stupid. My dude unlocks freaking Rose. Yeah. It's Juggernaut Drive in his sense, but it's fucking Rose, okay? He unlocks Rose because he's a titty master. I was kind of triggered here when he changed the saying for the Juggernaut Drive. That kind of pissed me off because Juggernaut Drive was so dope. Like when you come out and you're like, I'm about to drown your ass in Crimson Purgatory. It's like, oh shit, that Rose mode looking pretty fresh, even though it's not really Rose, okay? And I really like how they when I was seeing on YouTube how people were saying that he was gonna marry Reyes, and then after seeing the last episode, I was like, wow, they actually kept the factor, because I actually thought that he was gonna, you know, there would be no harem in a sense, because once you choose a girl, when you marry the bitch, there's no fucking harem anymore. All the bitches gotta back off because, you know, you got a fucking wife. All right, he didn't propose, and then after he confessed his love, everyone's like, okay, now I gotta try harder, and it's like, okay. And I like the inclusions of all the different mythologies they put in there. I know they do that. That's their thing. They put in a lot of different mythologies, but they put in like mythologies that I didn't think they were put in there, like the Nine-Tailed Fox and shit. The first 4 episodes of the show is kind of slow. Things really start to pop off towards episode 5. So if you're just you're planning on watching it, episode 5 is where stuff starts to pop off and starts to get interesting. Fan service still coming in strong. Towards the end of the last episode, I was this close to beating my Longinus. The thing that was really weird, I was like, I thought Cyber Orc was gonna be the strongest nigga alive, basically. And when he was fighting him, he said he wasn't as strong as Volley. Like he was almost there, but he wasn't as strong as Volley. So how fucking strong is Volley's head ass? I didn't really get a clear view on how strong Volley was. And then when Cyber Orc unlocks his freaking 8th gate, he still says he's not as strong as Volley. So I don't. Is Volley overpowered? I mean, like, come on. I mean, like, I knew he was overpowered, but is he that overpowered is what I'm saying. Obviously, they're setting up for a season 5 because the way they left it off, you could just tell they're leaving off on a season 5. This is probably one of the longest ecchi anime that's been out for this long. There's obviously gonna be another season, so I'm not even gonna act like there isn't. Now I just hope Boruto will start popping off.
Nomad Beats.